All right, we're now going live to Washington, where we're joined by Behnam Taleblu, Senior Fellow of the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
So, Iran, listen, we know it's been a week, exactly a week, and now with Iran continuing to kind of thumb their nose at us, saying we're going to retaliate for your retaliation, yet we haven't seen anything. Do you think it's a lot of talk, or is there some momentum behind what they're threatening?
Well, indeed, the fear is that there could be substance behind this crescendo of threats that we've been seeing out of Iran. Make no mistake, given the impact of the strike initially, for the first 12 to 24 hours, the regime really tried to downplay the Israeli strike, upplay Iranian air defenses, which apparently they don't really seem to be that much left, at least in the strategic side. But now the Islamic Republic's ultra-hardliners, its ultra-hardline press, and even the supreme leader have been coming out, incrementally laying the pathway for some kind of face-saving military response. The reporting about Iraq has been quite interesting, both with the militia commander and also from a few days ago, Axios. Both, unfortunately, have missed one big reality, which is that in 2018, actually, the Islamic Republic moved short-range ballistic missiles into western Iraq. So unfortunately, the ability to use Iraqi territory to carry out some kind of face-saving reprisal against Israel, or even if you try to read in between the lines of the Supreme Leader's statement today, potentially against American diplomatic or military facilities, does indeed exist.
So obviously the election is going to be happening a few days from now. How will the election, if in any way influence or not influence, what will happen with Iran in the future?
At least in terms of the attack, there's a couple ways it could influence, but in terms of a big picture on the whole host of other threats that we face from the Islamic Republic with respect to its nuclear program, in the lame duck period, that's where you have to be quite cautious about the regime being able to escalate its nuclear threats when it feels like its conventional ones simply aren't cutting anymore. And that's something the Biden administration has struggled to deal with when, it was fully in control and in the pre-electoral cycle. In the lame duck period, I certainly think that may be one area the regime is going to be quite keen on exploiting.
Right. But I mean, do you think that there is a fear? I mean, if they, they're talking a lot, but they haven't done anything, obviously, what they did with, that we all remember so well, didn't reach their target. So do you think there is some kind of embarrassment on their part that maybe they're just really not going to do anything?
Well, that could be one reason why they're moving this from Iranian territory to Iraqi territory. What the Iranians did both in terms of April and in terms of October against the Israelis, which, by the way, was defended incredibly by, the region's most important layered air and missile defense, as well as significant American military assistance to make sure those projectiles didn't make its way through. Depending on how you count, 4 warheads landed in April. Depending on how you count, upwards of 30 landed in October. Given that this is a regime that has threatened to wipe Israel off the map and has called Israel a one-bomb state, even one warhead here would be too many, if you ask me. But the Iranians have engaged potentially now in horizontal escalation, and they may try to spin this, given the way the Biden administration has preferenced de-escalation over deterrence, by trying to say, hey, look, it's not us directly responding, it's the militias, and try to get Israel back into the old pattern of what is a new normal.
Right. All right. Thank you very much, Behnam Taleblu. Much appreciated.